Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining in today. My guest today comes all the way from Germany, so in Berlin. So I'd love to introduce the lovely Julia. So please, Julia, tell us about yourself.
Hi, David. Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be on your show, on your podcast. My name is Julia Falkenstein, and I'm an aromatherapist in Berlin, Germany, since my fourth year. Actually, we moved to Berlin 4 years ago from Belgium, and before I was in France, and that's where I got contagiated. No, how do you say that in English? I got hooked on aromatherapy because there's so much there, and a little bit less here, I must say. In Berlin, there's still a wide field when it comes to aromas and clinical aromatherapy. So that's pretty interesting. And yeah, I have a practice and an atelier where I do workshops in the beautiful Charlottenburg area, which is roughly in the northwest of Berlin, if anyone knows the city a little bit.
Yeah, oh, fantastic. I'm going to peel it back, go back right to the beginning. What got you interested in aromatherapy? Well, how did your aroma journey start? Was there one thing that you remember that really kick-started your journey down the aromatherapy route?
Yeah, I think it was actually two things. One was in my earlier childhood when I discovered tea tree oil, Melaleuca alternifolia, which was pretty common in my youth. It was the only essential oil you could basically get everywhere. So it was a huge fashion of having this for multiple reasons. And I was frequently sick with sore throats, angines. And my mom was a medical doctor, and she was giving me these antibiotics all the time, you know. And I don't know why or how, but I started reading about tea tree oil, and I used that to clean my throat, and it worked fantastically. And that's when I had a big discussion with my mom, who didn't believe it, of course, that something like an essential oil could work. But she, of course, she didn't say no, and I used that as the best remedy for myself. And I remember that then years later, she said, "Oh, you know what I found in a medical journal? It's that Melaleuca was actually very effective against sore throats." I said, "Yeah, see," and I've been telling you years ago. So I was really happy that she sort of gave in, or she still thought about it. So that was one thing. But then I didn't really use essential oils because I have a feeling, you know, as I said before, in Berlin, you don't really, it's not a very sensational city. I don't know, it's very practical and a little bit cool. I don't know, cool in a way of not being in touch with your senses much, not like in southern Germany. I think you don't have these flower gardens, you don't cook beautifully and smell, and it's a little bit different, I must say. So tea tree oil was the only thing I really discovered. There was probably lavender oil as well somewhere, but I didn't really get in touch with it. And then some 12 years ago, we went to Sweden, and we have a long personal history with Sweden. We got married there, and the story before. So awesome. It's the place we love, and we basically we try to go there every year in summer. And then we went, the two of us, and as I said, we got married. Then we went back, and we had one child, we had another, and then we had three. So we were going back all the time, and then we made friends, and we usually live there in a very small village on the beautiful island of Gotland, which I can recommend to everyone. But it's really out of everything. You know, you can imagine, I don't know, the next supermarket is kilometers away, pharmacy, I don't know, you know, you don't really feel like when there's something you really think, oh, what can I do? And I'm a really easy mom, not very well prepared. I got some things against fevers and so, but not, you know, I'm always someone who forgets the tissue when they go to the playground. And so it was really, really bad. So one of my kids got sick with a cough. She was coughing all night, really bad. And I thought, oh gosh, and I don't have anything. Let's try and ask the people in the little village. It's like, 20 huts, no running water, no electricity, you know, this sort of like people being easy and outdoors. And so I went around. There were basically 3 people still there in the end of summer. And one said, you know what, I don't have remedies, but I have my essential oils. And I was like, what do you have? Essential oils. I was like tea tree oil? Yes. And she showed me this huge pack of oils she had, like we do now, you know. Now I know what she was having there, kind of a treasure. But I was seeing these hundreds of oils, and she said, you know, if you don't mind, I could look up in my big medicinal book to see what suits for children, and I could give your child something out of my essential oil treasure. I said, yeah, why not? Of course. So yeah, I was really happy that she thought about it. So she mixed, unfortunately, I don't know which ones, but she mixed 3 oils in a teaspoon of honey and gave it to my child. And 30 minutes after, she was not coughing anymore. And I was so surprised, happy. I thought it was incredible. Wow. And I thought I have to look deeper into this miracle. Why didn't I know about this before? You know, why are people hiding this information from me? And so I went back. I think we were living in Brussels then by the time, and their aromatherapy is, you know, you get essential oils everywhere. Actually, very nice shops, very good quality, and So I was going back and tried to find first information, did the first workshops, and then I thought, it's really complicated. You have to know a lot about the ingredients, about the chemical constitutions, etc. So I really have to dive deeper into it and learn about it in a more substantial way. So this is how I started my studies with aromatherapy and trained to become a clinical aromatherapist.
Wow. Oh, that sounds like, that's a great story. It's I love hearing about how people get interested in aromatherapy, how they either stumble across it or it comes to them one day, or through your own example of trying to find medicine for your child. So that's cool. That's really cool. So when and where did you study was it in Germany or?
Yeah, I was thinking of studying in Brussels. There's a nice academy as well, and but by the time we were thinking of moving back to Germany already, because of family reasons, parents getting older, and I thought, well, I would love to have this anchor still in Brussels because it's a beautiful city. We had lots of friends there, so it would be nice to just go there once a month to travel and do my studies. But then I thought it's a little bit unpractical, I think, to have the academy somewhere else and really rely on flying or going there with the train. It's not 8-hour train drive from Berlin, so it's not really practical maybe to do it. And then I thought, well, I try to look up something in Germany that's equivalent, and I found the Academy of Primavera. It's a school that is IFBA accredited right now, like recently, very nicely. And they're doing a wonderful program, and that's why when I enrolled, and 2 years later I got my little diploma, and it worked fantastically. I met lots of beautiful friends and colleagues there.
Oh, fantastic! So that was it a big classroom, a lot of students that were enrolled with you at the time, or was it quite small?
It was, I think it's a pretty big academy. They mostly train nurses, like for the clinical field, but some other like medical doctors, naturopathic doctors like me. I was going to do this study because I thought we were going back to Germany, and they're in the south of Germany, somewhere close to, let's say, Munich. So I thought that's not practical either. So I could have stayed in Brussels for the training, but they have some other classes like in Cologne, in Berlin, etc. So I thought I could switch and I could do most of my studies in Berlin, which in the end it wasn't possible because I wanted to do it like quick and not in years and years and years. So I was traveling a lot, and I was going to the south of Germany as well, to the headquarters, which is beautiful, has a beautiful feng shui garden. And so it was nice to really see that this, this warm atmosphere full of flowers and good energies like aromatherapy tries to give to everyone, I think, is really existing there. It's not existing here in Berlin, but it's existing there somewhere where they produce their oils as well. So no, that was pretty cool.
Okay.
And the classes can be from, like, mostly we were like 20 in the class, so it's pretty big, I think.
Yeah, that's a good size. That's a good size. And it was a two-year course, was it? Was it like on weekends?
Yes, it was on weekends, or from Thursday to Sunday, sort of. Yeah.
I think that I could have did. Okay, that's good. So once you graduated, so to speak, how did you go down the route of working? Did you set up your own practice straight away, or did you work in a clinic with sharing a room space or mobile, that kind of thing? How did you go about?
My background is totally different from aromatherapy. I was trained in communications and marketing in the first place. So I was working in this part-time until 2020, actually. In the end of 2019, I decided I would like to become a full-time aromatherapist, which, as we know, with a little pandemic coming inside, was not the best moment to start full time, maybe. So it was pretty tough in the beginning, but still really interesting. And I immediately set up online classes and online consultations in aromatherapy, because of course no one could come and I couldn't travel. But on the side of the aromatherapy studies, I was studying natural medicine. I think you call it that way, to become a naturopath. Okay. And I got the diploma there in 2020. So I started my cabinet, my practice, in 2021. This online consultations and now in-person consultations go on as well on the same side. But my main focus is to combine the communication marketing part with the aromatherapy to bring health and optimism to people in the workspace, like people on the job that are trained to help themselves being more motivated, being healthier, being less addictive to coffee and other things. So I'm training teams and individuals to stay strong in their jobs with aromatherapy. And I am doing scent marketing as well. So I'm creating scent logos for companies, basically, that they can use, that they can use in addition to their real logo and to their real communication for their whatever marketing there is. And that's pretty nice.
That's awesome. I've never heard of that one before. I must say, scent marketing. That's fascinating. How do you, if you don't mind divulging a little bit on how you go about that? Is it like a not a perfume, I'd say, but kind of what type of approach? How does that work? So it's fascinating. Scent marketing.
Yeah, it's in the end, it's a little bit like the creation of a perfume, but of course only with natural ingredients, with real organic aroma essential oils, and hydrosols as well. And I'm creating a scent that is typical and individual for one company, and they can use it for any thing they would think of, like for an event, maybe to spray some scent when they have an event, so people recognize there's something nice, something fresh. They might recognize it again when they come back, or even if they have a workshop or a space where people come in, they use it there. So people come in and see, oh, okay, I can feel I am here. They're optimistic. Of course, it can have a an effect to sell better as well, as we all know that scents can work in many different ways. So for the companies, it's a very nice thing to distinguish themselves via the scent. The scent mustn't be strong, no? It can be like something that you just recognize that's like nice or clean or fresh, but not really that there's a big perfume coming into your nose when you open the door. So it's really subtle and really nice. And they could use it for anything they could think of, even if they send out mailings or so, like real mailings, no email mailings, of course, this is going to come, but yeah, but anything there that you can touch and fill with scent, actually.
That's fantastic. That's really, that's so cool. I love that idea. I think that's great.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And we all know how the scent is influencing our mood and can be influenced in a very positive way. So all the companies I'm working with, they're really happy to have something that's, that has such a positive effect on their customers and on them, as well as their team members and the colleagues, because we all know how stressful life is, and it can be a positive thing to just enter a room or an office or a shared office and think, oh, wow, here I feel good. And this is exactly where I want to be, because it's, the scent of my company, and I like that. And they care for me, and I'm healthier than before, because we all know how the immune system works with that scent, etc. So it's a really win-win situation, I think.
Yeah, no, that's so cool. It kind of reminds me when I was back in London, when I used to work there in the film industry. I worked kind of part-time towards the end when I was doing aromatherapy as well. One thing I noticed is that no office, and literally at that time, no office had any aromas, any smells, anything about it. Some may have had a floral display. The bigger companies would, maybe like Disney or big studios would, but in general, no one would. And I remember putting my diffuser on in the office. It was just, I just did because I wanted to do it. And literally every client that would walk in, everyone, the first thing that, what's that smell? That smells nice. They would always say that, literally.
Right.
And then staff would as well. They'd walk in the morning and just go, oh, what's that you've got on today, David? That kind of thing. So it is a definite attraction. Like, people notice it as well. It strikes you in a good way. There was never anything negative, apart when I used to use valerian on a certain people as a joke kind of thing, because that really divided the office in half kind of thing. People,
of course.
What's that? What's that? Who's stick? I did that on purpose, just to get reactions sometimes. So particularly if there was a very stressful day, I would kind of do it as a joke, just to get people, livening them up. So I think, not to digress, but what you're saying is, it's a fantastic way of using in the workplace, because it's one thing that there's corporate art, there's corporate designs and logos and furniture, but aroma is kind of really overlooked. So I think what you're doing is awesome.
It's true. I mean, the scent marketing is really sticking with one scent, because you don't want to change a lot. It's like changing your colors in the company, etc. Changing your logo. You don't do that very often. But in my trainings for teams, I do exactly what you say. Everybody gets its own best scent for their health problematics. I mean, some people are stressed when they come to work. Some people can't express themselves. Some people don't like to talk. It can all be more relaxed with scents, actually, with aromatherapy. And you just have to take care of the room situation. Not everybody likes the same smell. So, but you can, as you know, with all these inhalation techniques, etc., you can have a very personal approach to your own scent. You don't have to you don't have to have a diffuser on the table. It can be many different ways that is just working perfectly for you individually. And then the rest of the bunch is having different scents, and everybody's happy. Yeah,
exactly.
And usually the bosses are happy, because everybody's motivated and performing super nicely, and you have less health issues, so people don't have to be calling sick so often. So it's really very cool, I think, keeping the atmosphere up, and it has a wonderful effect.
Oh, okay, yeah, absolutely. That's something really cool. So do you find in that kind of part of your business, your role as an aromatherapist, it's quite popular in that companies are willing, like, oh, you know, that sounds cool, or is it a bit like, nah?
No, it's more actually the middle size and small companies where you have an owner that's interested and thinks, wow, well, that's really cool. You don't really, you know, if you have too many people involved, you never have an outcome. It's more someone who thinks, well, I don't know it, or maybe he knows it or she knows it, but not so sure if that works. So when I tell them about the benefits, they're really up to, and then they try, and it's really working miracles. So
yeah, oh, that's awesome. So along with aromatherapy, you said you also studied herbal medicine as well. Is that the only other kind of alternative kind of treatments or practice that you've studied, or?
No, I didn't study herbal medicine. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I said that wrong. I studied to become a naturopathic doctor. Yeah, yeah. But with the main reason to apply aromatherapy to all people, the best of the best. Okay. And in my practice, I mean, besides of these trainings and consultations in the scent marketing area, I have my practice here, and people come as patients, and they have whatever they do have, and of course they're treated with different treatments. I do from body work and massage, inhalation. They get their inhaler, so they get different sorts of things, balms, etc., depending on what they have, lung problems or knee problems or whatever. Yeah. So I'm working basically like a normal naturopathic doctor with my patients.
Yeah, with essential oils. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, only with essential oils, a lot of plant oils. How do you say, basic oils? You know, I'm a big fan of basic oils as well, and hydrosols, of course. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. And your client kind of range, I know we mentioned this before, but it's kind of quite broad, isn't it? Of different, you know, men, women. It's quite a broad selection, isn't it, that you work with?
Yeah, but it's more women, I must say. Women tend to believe a little bit more in aromatherapy, or maybe read more about it. I think it's a media thing as well. So there's a lot of like basic aromatherapy coverage in magazines and so they have heard about it and they want to try, and lots are coming from the cosmetic side as well, saying, I heard that there are some oils that work well on the skin, and then, you know, and we come deeper into their own challenges. And as I always say, you know, they come with one question, and in the end they have, of course, 10 or 15 things you could treat, but you have to make a decision on what to treat first. But it's really interesting. Most people I meet are not really, they don't really know about the benefits of aromatherapy and that it really has clinical outcome. So I do a lot of information and communication with the people in the first place to see, to make them see how big actually the range of treatments could be, you know, because working in so many different ways that they have never heard of. Most people think it's just something that smells well and keeps you optimistic maybe, but that it really has a benefit on our cells and the body is still, yeah, not so known, I must say.
Okay. And you mentioned briefly, it's something that I wanted to ask, is the skincare an issue as well? Is that kind of, is it meaning, do you get people come to you and say, hey, can you do me an essential oil blend for the face type thing? Because it's something that people don't really know about, using oils on the face too much as well. It's, you know, something that I come across that people just don't know too much about. But I love using facial oils, facial creams. I think it works really well on the body.
I don't know. I have a personal story with psoriasis myself, and I was having my thesis. I wrote my thesis on skin problematics as well. So I was already interviewing lots of people, and now I have many patients with neurodermitis.
Yeah, dermatitis. Yeah.
Yeah, psoriasis, so all sorts of things that are concerning the skin, as well as some younger people with acne, etc. And it's something I work really often with, I must say, but not only with essential oils and some balms and some creams, some lotions and massage, etc. I recommend lots of plant oils as well to be taken internally, because I think it's a wonderful thing that really can help a lot with the skin.
Yeah, definitely. So what are some of your favorite essential oils and also other oils that you mentioned? So it doesn't have to be essential as well. It can be base oils and carrier oils and enrichers. What are some of your favorite ones?
Yeah, I think it changes a lot. I was thinking about this question recently. One of my favorite oils right now, I must say, is the Douglas fir.
Okay.
Pseudozuga menziesi. It's one of my favorite forest scents because it has this lemony touch in it, and it really feels summer-like and beautiful, and I can really breathe well, and I get very optimistic with it. I really like that one. Then, of course, if I would only take one oil to this island and I would never come back, it would probably be my tea tree oil, that I started with in the beginning. Not because I love the smell so much. I think I love it much more than many people do. But I think it has so many benefits. It's amazing. I mean, I could actually basically do almost everything with it. So this is really cool. But even, I was really tough on these deep oils like ylang ylang and patchouli, but I'm really getting into this right now, in the perfect mix is really, they're nice as well. So I'm getting in touch with these strong scents as well. And it really depends, I think, on the season. So right now, the summer season brings more, I'm using lots of these lighter oils and citrus-like oils, and the Douglas fir is perfect right now. But in winter, it can be different, there are
no, that's it's good to change. We change with the seasons, and it's what we like one moment. But the fir, Douglas fir, I can imagine it reminds you of Sweden as well. That kind of very pine foresty kind of fresh. I can see that. How about some of your not so favorite oils, or ones that you just can't get along with?
As I said, these strong oils really have been a challenge. Even the rose oil, I think, is difficult for me. It's just too much, too sweet, too heavy. I prefer the hydrosol. I think they all have something. The oils I liked the least were ylang ylang and patchouli, for example.
Okay.
And as I said, now I'm getting a little bit more in touch with them. I think they have great benefits. But I'm a very logic person. I like the smell, and of course I know if I'm attracted to an oil or not. But the more I read about an oil, the more happy I am to take it or to use it or to try it out. I like to read. I like to be convinced by people's stories, by maybe a study. Then I'm reading, like, let's give it a try. It can't be that bad. So I'm trying it out again. But I'm happy. I used much more hydrosols, for example, in the last year, and that's really cool. So I'm trying to work more with regional hydrosols as well, like the linden tree hydrosol, things that actually could grow here as well, or I see in the streets. And that's really cool to have the connection to your local area as well in the oils and hydrosols you use.
Yeah, absolutely. Being local and sustainable as well, and those kind of things are really important as therapists. That's for sure. Oh, that's really fascinating, Julia. Well, look, we're running out of time now slowly, but I just wanted to say thank you so much for coming on today and being able to talk with me. It's great chatting with you. And is it okay if I leave your contact details as I point down here, in case anyone wants to get in touch with you? I'll leave your social media details. Is that okay?
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. And thank you, David, so much. It was such a pleasure talking to you.
Oh, no, pleasure to talk with you. Thanks again. All right. Take care.
See you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
You too. Bye-bye.